Hope everybody's doing great today. It is May 9th, 2020. I have 4 letters today that I might be opening up. And a 5th one comes from something that I purchased off of one of the autograph sites that a lot of us visit. The interesting thing, I've been really thinking about this. I wouldn't say I spent a lot of time thinking about it, but it is something I think about. Up until recently, I've been a huge fan of not selling autographs. But now that my collection's gotten just crazy, it's time to start weeding some of it out, getting it to some other people's hands. It's kind of what this whole pandemic's done for me, is just really realize that I don't need all this stuff. I might as well get it into some hands of other people that like it. But my point going back is, for the longest time, is how can I justify if I don't like people who sell autographs, but yet then I buy from them? So what I'm doing basically is supporting that makes it easier for them to want to continue to sell, if that makes sense. So kind of think about that. I'm not asking anybody not to buy autographs or to sell them. That's just your interpretation of where you are and what you like to collect and do and blah, 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 blah. I'm just talking about, in my own standpoint, how I feel about autographs is, how can I buy if I'm that opposed to selling? So let's get these started. The first one we're going to open is the one that I got off eBay. Or not off, I didn't get it off eBay. I got it off one of our boards. Obviously not the one that I post in here, but I think I know what it is. It took me a few minutes. I bought 3 things recently, or from 3 different people. So let's see what we got here. I think this is, yes, it is. So I'm going to show you here in a second as I open these up. I saw these listed, and it was through a private signing, and it's one that Ruben Sierra had done. So if any of you happen to see the person who put these up for sale, I grabbed them mainly because of that one right there. I've been working on an 86 Flair set. I'm down to 12 of the regular cards, the 12 out of 660. So it's been quite a journey with that. Maybe if I get a little bit closer, I'll take some pictures and post them in here. But anyways, I grabbed this one. I already have it signed. It's one of the update ones. But this one's a real clean copy. It's relatively cheap. Ruben was a superstar when he first came in the league with Texas. And then I don't want to even speculate because it wouldn't be fair to him. But his career kind of fell apart for quite some time, and he bounced around. And I even remember at one point the Tigers ended up with him. It was, he came from, I think, Cincinnati, I want to say, but maybe he came from New York. He had bounced around. He might have been part of the Cecil Fielder trade. And I think New York threw him in as, you got to take this guy. And then I think later we shipped him on to Cincinnati. But he bounced around for a while. And then at the end of his career, he was playing with Seattle in the early 2000s, and he got it back together, and he had some pretty solid years at the end there. So those are 3 Ruben Sierras. I think I paid $7, or it was 3 for $20, I think. Pretty cheap. He was not an easy one back in the day, so really happy to get those. All right, my next one now. This one's kind of cool. He actually put his little sticker there. This is an old basketball player from the 70s. Mostly, I believe, maybe just ABA. I'm not sure if he played in the NBA, but so we're going to have some old basketball cards here. Got my scissors out. Let's see what we got here. I hope everybody's staying healthy. It's not for me to tell you if you should be wearing a mask, but if you do, I appreciate it as one who has asthma. I really do worry about catching it, because if I do, it's pretty much going to be a killer for me. So here we go. We got Billy Keller, kind of a cool old card there. We got another one here. These are old Pacer cards, which I believe these were before they became the NBA, so they were still in the ABA at this time. And here's a Game 5 championship card from 71-72 season. So it's an actually 72-73 card. But look at what's interesting about this card. Look at where they're playing, and if you know your colleges, you know what auditorium that is. But I've seen some of the photos of the old ABA games, and it's crazy like how small some of these venues were. They almost look like they were playing in high schools, and they very well may have. I really don't know a lot about the ABA. It was just barely before my time, but just some cool photos I've seen through the past. All right, the next one's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So let's see what we got here. Trim that top off. And we got, looks like a baseball guy here. Yes, a baseball guy. Okay, we got an old Pirate, Dave Gisty. This is actually a mini. This is smaller than the normal size card. Kind of cool. We got a 77 Topps here. So I always wondered like what players think when they already have the face smile card, and then someone sending them to sign it. Like, you know, like we get it, but do players like shy away from those cards? And here we got an older one here, early 70s card. I think this is a 72, I want to say. Kind of cool. So there's Dave Gisty. Up next, we have Salt Lake City, Utah. Let's see who we got in here. This one I have no idea. Can't think of anybody I wrote to. All I can think of is Utah Jazz players, which it very well could be. And oddly enough, it actually is. So we got Mark Eaton. Really good player way back in the day in those Utah Jazz teams. So he signed 2 out of 3. His third one here is not signed, so either he doesn't like it or he's down to doing 2. I think at one time he was doing as many as 4 or 5, but which is another thing. You see some of these people. There was one, I think it was on Sports Cards Net, and someone put online about, someone wrote to Guy Lafleur and sent him 15 items. And, I mean, that obviously is going to spark everybody. I don't, like, for me, like, for the longest time, I would only send 3, and I really try to keep it to 3. Sometimes the most I'll usually send is 4. I have sent 5 on rare occasions, but I try to keep it to 3. And just so see people do 15, that burns them out. I mean, imagine someone asking you for 15 autographs. And, you know, just, I don't get some of that. All right, so this next one. This one's kind of cool. I know this is an older one because of the stamp. And I have not mailed out this kind of a stamp in a long time. So I know this one's going back. This one's been buried probably in their basement for a while or something. But let's crack this open. I don't see anywhere where it's been canceled, so I have no idea where this is coming from. But cut that top off there and open these up. And yes, this is an old one. Here we go. One, if you remember way back, around about 91, I think it was, or 90, the A's had all these first-round draft picks. It was the Todd Van Poppel year, and there was John Peters and this guy, and then there was one other player, and they were like all these prospects. And really, sadly, I think Van Poppel is the only one that made it to the majors for any length of time, and even that wasn't all that long. So Kurt Dressendorfer, he had some cool cards. I like these cards these guys had back in the day. So this is a cool return. I've never gotten this guy. That's kind of a cool card right there, Rising Stars. And then he had a triple play finally to finish it up. That's a 92 triple play. So that's the mail for today. Thank you for tuning in. I'll try to have some more videos coming up in the future. Maybe throw in a few tidbits. So if you want to ask any questions, you can always post it on the back end of some of these videos, and I'll try to get to them as I go. Have fun with the hobby. That's the main thing. And again, I'm not against people who do so. I just, you know, it's always been really a thing that I've stayed away from. It's never been about money for me. It's about having fun with the hobby. And I think I said it in the last video. When you get mail like this, it's like Christmas. You never know what's going to be in there. And so that's the fun of it for me, at least. Everybody does things for different reasons. It's not for me to judge. But anyways, stay safe. Keep your hands clean. Keep washing them. And we'll get through this soon.